Welcome to Crush Your Mountain. I am the Hangster OG, and I am so happy to introduce our next guest. Her name is Dr. Peace Ushe. We had an excellent conversation. She is probably the most brilliant woman I have met to date. And that's saying a lot because my wife is brilliant, and I know a lot of brilliant young women. But this lady is particularly special. She is multi-talented and multifaceted. I'm sure you'll get a whole lot out of this conversation in terms of how spoken word can increase our health, both mentally and indeed physically. Let's find out. My friends, I want to welcome you to Crush Your Mountain Health. It's been a while and I am so happy to be here. I want to share with you one of the most awesome young women I have met in a very long time. Poetry allows us to use the nuance of language to talk about some of the most difficult feelings that a person can experience, but it also allows us to effect a tremendous healing, not just of our minds and our spirit, if you will, but also our very bodies in some cases. According to authors Dr. Andrew Newberg and Robert Waldman, by holding a positive and optimistic word in your mind, you stimulate frontal lobe activity. This area includes specific language centers that connect directly to the motor cortex responsible for moving you into action. And the reason why that's so important is because I have with me one of the most remarkable young women. She wrote her first book at the age of 12, if you can believe that. And since then, she's written another book. Her first book is called, I'll make sure I've got it right here, The Midnight Show, which is a beautiful spoken word book in itself. And she wrote that when she was 12. And then she went on to develop her own radio show. Her radio show is The Golden Sessions with Dr. Peace on KNSJ, San Diego, California, 89.1 FM. And so it's a bit earlier for her over there. She's about 2:30, 2:38 over there.
1:30.
1:30.
1:38.
Wow. And she's also the author of the Dr. Peace and of Mind Method, a poetic guide to living your best life. She has multiple awards. She was the bloomercraze.com blog July 2020 Woman of the Week. So this is a powerhouse. And get this, she has barely hit 25. My God, another 25 years, she will probably own the planet. Dr. Peace Ushe, welcome to Crush Your Mountain Health. Please tell us more about your fascinating and rather expeditious journey.
Thank you so much again for having me, Henry. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for that beautiful, welcoming introduction. Whew, I feel like an incredible being.
Indeed, you are. You know,
We all are.
I had the opportunity to watch some of your shows. And what really fascinates me is this. Right now you're sitting, but oftentimes I see you standing,
Yes.
you present it, and you literally bring the full force of you
Yes.
to your show.
Yes.
Tell me, what is it that moved you? Because you are a doctor of pharmacy, officially, a pharmacist,
Yes.
but we don't have a Dr. Peace pharmacist show yet. We have a number of shows out there, a number of venues that we see you in. But so what is it that moved you from the pharmaceutical and pharmacy industry to being one who's a speaker, who's proficient in the spoken word, one who uses movement to heal, and also a life coach at that? Tell us.
Yes. What a great question. I get this quite often. A lot of people are curious how I shifted from the world of pharmacy to the world of entrepreneurship. And the most simple way I can answer that question is by telling you that it was all about my soul purpose, aligning with my soul purpose. And once I realized that I was not fully aligned, taking the steps to realign and giving myself permission to transition. And it's not to say that the journey that I went through, my life road that I took to get to me where I am now, I am so very much grateful for that. I sometimes joke actually that I became a doctor of pharmacy so that I could have the brand name Doc Peace.
Mm.
Peace is my given birth name, and I am indeed a doctor of pharmacy, so that it gives me this brand that now I can really guide others in aligning with their soul purpose. And sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was just fascinated by your line of reasoning and how that worked out.
Mm.
That's excellent. You know, I will say this. One of the your first spoken words, one of your first poems, had a very interesting statement. In the title, it says, "One day I'll break free and prove my individuality."
Ooh, you
And
listened to that first flow. Wow.
and that that almost was almost prophetic, because anyone could be a pharmacist. Anyone could be, in fact, be a doctor of pharmacy, but your state of energy comes through when you are giving the spoken word, when you are doing the most professional hula hoop movements I've ever seen in my life. And I am the Hankster OG. The OG stands for old guy. So I've been around for a bit, you know. So now tell us this, okay? When it comes to health and the spoken word, what experiences have you seen in terms of bringing someone to that state of healing? Let's start with the emotional health, because you use that in your practice as a coach. Am I right?
Yes, yes, most definitely. So, first of all, I want to applaud you for finding that my very first spoken word piece. You must have had to do a little bit of research there to pick that
We
up.
have ways of finding things out.
Since then, I have to say, when I first started doing spoken word, it was a way for me to release my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
specifically in regards to frustration and anxiety and nervousness in the dating world. And I had to release all of that. I had to release all of that because it wasn't serving me, it wasn't serving anyone. And I used spoken word initially as an outlet to do so. And I realized the power of spoken word, listening to others share their stories, their messages was just so powerful. And I realized how impactful spoken word can be to move not only the emotions, but move the physical actions. And so, and honestly, in addition, it gets others in that vulnerable space. It puts you and the listeners in this vulnerable space. And I believe in that vulnerable space, that's where true connections are made.
Okay.
And so that was my draw into spoken word. That is why I decided when I first did that first flow that you found, I realized, wow, there's power here. I want to learn more about this power, and I want to surround myself with others who are exuding this power. And I set my intention. I said from then on, I would continue to write and to perform as long as the inspiration flowed. So I would continue every month to push out a new flow, to let that inspiration flow in and through me and perform it for others, to move others, to heal myself and to move others and to connect with others. And for an entire year after that very first flow that you saw, I performed a new piece and performed that new piece each and every month. until by the end of the year, my flows had went from the frustration, anxiety, nervousness, kind of negative energy that I was releasing into this positive space where I had no more negative energy. And all I wanted to do was to really share this positive light. So I set my intention from then on out. Everything that I release, everything that I post, everything that I share will be aligned with positivity, light, and love, because there's already so much negativity out there. I don't want to add to that.
Yes.
And so that's what my spoken word seeks to do. It's sharing a story, a life lesson from my own road, my own life road, with the sole purpose of lighting your soul on fire, speaking to your soul, bypassing the mind that's constantly judging and negating. That's the power of spoken word. It doesn't really speak to the mind because it's so eloquently and so poetically stated. It's speaking to the soul. So there's no way for you to counteract what I'm saying, because it's not speaking to your mind, it's speaking to your soul. So now you can really own and embody the words and put that into action and get it going and get it going.
There's so many, the human being, and I say it that way because we don't understand fully that when we say human being, the totality of the individual is so multifaceted.
Yes.
And so my question then is, when you connect with someone, how do you use your words, your use of language to bring them from one state to the state of positivity? How do you use that beautiful radiance that you have to touch them, connect them, and infuse in them, so to speak, that same power so that they can heal?
By sharing my story.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the bright moments of my life, but the dark moments as well. Mm-hmm. And it allows us to get in this space where now I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm coming in with my true self.
Yeah.
And so then it allows them to join me and be present and connect with me with their true self. Mm-hmm. And then I'm sharing these strategies or the lessons that I learned from that moment, so that now they can apply it to their lives and lighten up their life road. And that's literally how I put together my spoken word flows. Mm-hmm. I have to share, though, that I don't sit down and write a piece and say, okay, that rhymes. Okay, that rhymes. Okay, let's see how that. No, these spoken word pieces are channeled. They're channeled messages. Okay. And oftentimes they come to me at night when I'm trying to sleep. And I get this inspirational flow. So I'm always sharing with my clients, take note of when you are most aligned with your higher self, when you are most inspired. Take note of that, where you are, what time of day it is, and be present and be aware, and always have a pen and paper handy, so that when that inspiration begins to flow, you can take note of it, so that not only can you learn from those words and really embody those words, but that you can share that message that was channeled to you from your higher self and share that with others. So that's what I do with my spoken word. And initially starts off with a channeled message. It's my life, but the way that it flows is so eloquently spoken. And then I take that message and I do a little bit of edits, but most of the time it's pure and beautiful, just the way it is. And then I memorize that message. I have a gift of memorization as well that I've been blessed with. And then I memorize it and then I perform it. And I don't know if you know this, Henry, but I was a really shy girl growing up, and I had a lisp and I didn't want to be seen, let alone heard. So my favorite place in the world was underneath the bed. That's where I felt the most comfortable, honestly. Like up until my teens, I would be underneath the bed, chilling with my books, my shell collection, my pillow in case I wanted to take a nap. Like literally, that was my favorite place in the world. And if any of my family members were looking for me, they'd be like, she's probably underneath the bed. And then they look under there and there I am, either sleeping or reading a book. And so for me to be where I am now, where I'm sharing this message of truth, this message of positivity, light, and love on a stage, on various platforms, virtually and in person, it's a huge step. And that took courage. And what gave me that courage was knowing and owning these gifts and realizing that if I wasn't sharing these gifts, these talents that I've been blessed with, then I was doing a disservice to myself and to others.
Yes. Now, your mom came over and brought you and your sister uh, here from Nigeria, and before we went on the camera, I did the traditional one of the traditional greetings in Igbo, which is Kedu, and she said Odema, and which was great because I felt like I knew something, you know. But you know, I imagine, and I also gather that much of the pain that you have had to release um, was connected to that the catalysts involved in that move.
So I do have to correct you a little bit. I was
Sure.
actually born here in the States. My parents did immigrate from Nigeria. They met here in the States and had me and my siblings. So I wasn't born in Nigeria. I was born here in America. However, growing up in the traditional Nigerian household, but also fused with the American way of life, was a very interesting experience. So yes, you are correct. There were other emotions, this ancestral healing that I had to go through and release as I transformed. And it's not just a one and done thing. It's a continuous process. When you give yourself permission to transition, it's saying yes to the unknown. It's getting it going and aligning and realigning with that soul purpose. And so I'm continuously sharing my own spoken word to myself. That's actually one of my tools that I use to empower my confidence. It's not just a tool that I share with my clients. It's not just a tool that I share when I speak on other people's platforms. It's a tool that I say my own flows to myself, or remind myself what I'm capable of. I remind myself that, I might be solo, but I'm not alone. That's one of my most recent flows.
That's amazing. You know, I'll tell you something else that I value. You use that word flow. You use it as a noun in terms of to describe your poetry, and indeed, that's what it is. Because I can see how it flows from you. But you know, it's connected right to the recent studies of flow state,
Yes.
and that's something that is something that's a powerful state of being that anyone can access. And I'm wondering also if you're able to help others to reach that point.
Yes. Yes. I love this question. And the answer is a resounding yes. Anyone can reach their flow state by aligning with their soul purpose and empowering their confidence within their gifts, their expert skills, and talents. Oftentimes, we suppress what we are capable of doing in the in as if we call it humble, or we call it humility, when we suppress our gifts, our expert skills, and talents, because we don't want to come across as cocky or egotistical. So we deny what it is that we are capable of doing. But when you take the time to really embody and own your gifts, your expert skills and talents, and confidently share that with others, it allows that flow state to open, where now it's like, okay, you're acknowledging your gifts, you're acknowledging what it is that you've been blessed with. Furthermore, you're acknowledging the gifts and talents and what the blessings of others, and it's leading us together. It's putting us into the space where now we can co-create. And when you are in this state of being fully in your body and owning what it is that you are capable of doing, and then open to co-create with others and really get it going. you are in that flow state. You're allowing the channel messages from your higher power, the God, the universe, what you believe in, whatever you believe in, you're allowing that communication to begin. You're opening the doors for this communication of, and you're giving yourself permission to fully shine. And so that is why my coaching brand is entitled Conscious Luminaries. And a luminary is a light, it's a star. And these you're a conscious luminary if you are aware of something greater. You are aware of your being. You're aware of your uniqueness. You're aware of your gifts, and you're ready to shine your light by sharing those gifts with the world. And so that is who I call in to work with, to connect with, to co-create conscious luminaries who are ready to get it going.
That's amazing. When you talk about that, your energy itself radiates from you. And I suspect that 30 years from now, if you keep this same radiance, you will probably look exactly the same. You know, I say that to say this because individuals who are able to bring that out. We're mentioning this because, you see, once a person finds that state of being that they belong in, isn't it fair to say that it affects not just their state of mind,
yes,
but it affects their state of being, their entire
yes,
body?
yes.
See? And that's one of the things I've noticed. You'll notice that in artists of all from all modalities.
Yeah.
You'll notice that in terms of musicians. You know, you can have sometimes you can have the most penniless musician out there, but if they are performing their work from the state of flow and love and art, then they radiate a state of health, a state of well-being that is far too rare in the world. With that said, would you say that the challenge in the world, almost an epidemic of purposeless people?
Ooh, yes. And the reason why there's purposelessness is because we have not yet identified our purpose. We have not yet identified our soul purpose. Our soul purpose is what we were created to achieve. And we are in the process, we're giving all our energy and our time to fulfill somebody else's soul purpose rather than our own. And so that is what my purpose is. And for the longest time, I knew that I was supposed to help people. That is what I set out to achieve since I was a kid. When my relatives would ask, Ozzy, that's my first name, Peace is my middle name, Ozzy, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I remember the only response that was acceptable, I said, oh, I want to be an artist. They said, no, there is no money in being an artist.
Right.
I said, oh, I want to be tall. There is no money in being tall, though. I said, I want to help people. And they said, yes, Ozzy, you will be a doctor. And I said, okay. And so I always knew that I wanted to help people. But it took some time for me to realize how to help people. And I realize now that my purpose is to guide and empower others in achieving and aligning and achieving their individual soul purpose. And not just any soul purpose, abundant soul purpose, abundancy in their soul purpose. Because oftentimes we might be achieving our purpose, but not having the abundancy that goes with it. And in order for us to continue in that work, abundancy is necessary. So abundancy in happiness, abundancy in wealth, abundancy in love, all of that abundance is important in order to really fully achieve that soul purpose. So it's all about abundant soul purpose. And so that's something that I've achieved in my life. And that's what I guide my clients in achieving in theirs. And that is my soul purpose.
Beautiful. Your passion for it just shines through. And, you know, I appreciate the fact that your first name is Lucy. Now, is there a
Ozi, yes, it's
Ozzy? Now, is there a
Ozioma, short
Ozioma?
for Ozioma.
Ozioma. Now,
And
what does that mean?
so I'm going to share with you what my entire name means, and you are going to be blown away.
Okay.
So my full name is Ozioma Peace Uche. So you know what peace is? It's bringing that calm serenity. Uche is my last name, and it means with intention.
Mm-hmm.
And Ozioma is my first name, which means good news.
Wow.
Or salvation. So when you put it all together, it's peaceful, good news with intention.
Wow. Powerfully deep. You know, and it just speaks to your role in bringing healing to individuals. You know, running into people. I'll tell you also, the reason why I think there's such an alignment with the two of us is because I founded Chrysalis Transformational Coaching for that very reason. You know, I've discovered in working with people that there are plenty of individuals out there who they are still in that state of becoming, and they have not emerged.
Yeah.
You see, and when you say that they have not emerged, you find that they may work at the job, they may be very good workers at the job, but somewhere inside there's a little piece that's dying, and I think that's very sad. I think that sometimes, and actually studies have shown this very well. They say that the average lifespan of a person that retires is 6 years. 6 years. So to have worked all this time and they have committed their purpose or their life to the purpose of someone else, and then they have retired. Now they have nothing. And the sad thing is, sometimes they just shrivel up and die over the course of years. So I certainly understand that. Here's the opportunity for individuals to avail themselves of seeking the path. One of the things that's going on now is the idea of the Ronin, the masterless samurai, the one who is purposeless, okay, with all these abilities, all these different skills. And yet now they have no clear path to take. You know, isn't it important that, in fact, I'll ask you, what steps would you recommend for someone to begin the inner healing of finding their purpose?
The first step is calibration.
Mm-hmm.
Calibrating with your innate gifts, your expert skills, and talents. That is the very first step. Once you are able to identify and own what it is that you are innately blessed with, it gives you that boost of confidence to now continue the work. Continue the work. Realize and understand and reach out for guidance and support on how to fully use, fully is that keyword, use those gifts, expert skills, and talents that you have been blessed with. And I'm all about loading up your empowerment toolbox. This is what I call this empowerment tool chest, where you put all these exercises, you put all these, whatever that you use in the past to empower your confidence, you load up your empowerment tool chest with it, with these tools. And so I teach a lot of these tools to my clients. That first one that I just shared is GET. It stands for gifts, expert skills, and talents. Once you take the time to identify at least, I give my clients 7 to identify, 7 gifts, 7 expert skills, and 7 talents. You can start off with 3. That's a great start in getting it going. So once you take the time to identify those gifts, experts, skills, and talents, that is the very first step to get gold. It stands for get. It's going to allow you to get gold, not just the money, not just gold, the money gold, but the acronym, which is another one I've created. It stands for Genuine, Original, Loving Dreamer. It allows you to realize that you are innately a gold individual. You take that time to identify your golden attributes so that you can become a genuine, original, loving dreamer and get it going.
Now,
And
go ahead, please.
And once you calibrate, then you can begin to create, to package your expertise, to package your creativity. So in my offer that I've created, I've thrown in a lot of my creativity in that offer because it's all of me. And I encourage my clients to give all of them. There's a reason why you learn things from your life road. There's a reason why you've been on this journey so that you can now guide others along their life roads using the skill sets, the gifts and the talents that you've garnered or learned throughout your journey. And so then after you've calibrated, now you want to create, you want to package that expertise and that creativity into an offer so that you can guide others along their journey. Because without an offer, without that all packaged, how are you going to help others?
Right.
How are you going to guide others along? And so once you create, then you want to get it connected. You want to share with your community what you've created. You want to speak on other people's platforms. You want to share and blast your message and invite your community members to be a part, to co-create with you, to take you up on your offer, to take you up on those opportunities that you're sharing, to take you up and to support you and to work with you and to co-create with you. And so, but it all starts with calibration. Because if you don't take the time to calibrate, if you don't take the time to empower your confidence to get it going, then it's going to be hard. Because with every new step, with every new change, your ego kind of starts talking. It starts talking back to you because it wants to keep you in that safe zone. It wants to protect you. So without the ability to talk back to that ego, to push that ego aside, to talk back to those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, that might be coming from yourself or from other people, questioning your decisions, questioning your path to transition, questioning because they're in the state of, you create your own reality. So their reality is created by their limiting beliefs. So if you let their limiting beliefs to create your reality, then it's doing a disservice to yourself and others. So it's so important to take the time to calibrate, load up your empowerment tool chest so that with every step that you take towards your abundant soul purpose, you can reach into your empowerment toolbox and pull out the tools that you need to empower your confidence, to talk back to those limiting beliefs, turn those limiting beliefs into expanding beliefs so that you can continue to get it going and do the work towards that abundant soul purpose.
Now, that's truly interesting because you're saying, as they say, you're speaking my language, girl. You know, the idea of finding that and taking the time to explore who you are, what the totality of you brings in. You see,
Yes.
So many people would be shocked and surprised to find out what they really are capable of, and then to excel in that, not for glory, not for fame, but for the sake of the being.
Yes.
So here's what I normally do at the end of my little thing. I'll have to ask you this question. Okay? What to you, okay, and my show is Crush Your Mountain. And so when I say crush your mountain, what does it mean to you to crush your mountain?
To get it going. Get it going. Crush those mountains, those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Turn those limiting beliefs into expanding beliefs so that you can continue onwards to get it going. Get it going is actually a family mantra of mine that has been passed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come up with this term. My mom has told me this phrase since I was little. It's what my great grandfather, who was the chief of my tribe, would tell his community members to get it going, do what we need to do to survive, get it going. And then my great grandfather passed it down to my grandmother, who would tell my mom, get it going. It's what gave my mom the courage to move, to relocate across the country, across multiple countries, across the world, to start a family here, to become a nurse, to raise a family on her own, single mother of 3, to get it going. And what she passed down to me, to get it going, Wandem, get it going. Set your intention on something. Set your intention on something beautiful. Set your intention on your purpose, on your soul purpose, and get it going towards achieving that purpose. Don't let distractions get in the way. Focus, Wandem, focus. That's what she would say. Get it going. So crushing your mountain to me means to focus, reset, recenter, be present, and get it going.
Yes, absolutely.
Water on now.
Tremendous power in this young lady, friends. And you just got to be kind of overawed by the passion, ability, as well as skill that she has. Now, we're going to get a chance to take a look at a couple of her clips, okay? Because she is all over YouTube, and she's not hiding. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. But you'll be amazed to see the range of abilities and talents, and that comes from very skilled in bringing the message and the imagery to individuals. And that's why I put her on Crush Your Mountain Health as opposed to personal growth, because the idea is words can bring healing. They say sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never harm you. Well, that's not entirely true. But here's what's interesting. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words, positive, spoken words that are held in the presence and power of love, do heal and can bring the healing. So we're going to invite you to do just that. Seek out Doc Peace. Make sure if you can find her, get her show in San Diego on KNJS or
KNSJ.
KNSJ. Again, go to her websites, check out her merchandise. More than anything else, if you have the chance to spend some time and get some insight from her, feel free to reach out. Okay, she is, again, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms. And I am Hankster OG. I'm a certified health and life coach. I'm also the founder and owner of Chrysalis Transformational Coaching, where we invite you to come take the Ronin test. Find out, what type of Ronin are you? Are you a masterless samurai? And if so, which one could you be? Well, once we discover that, we can help you likewise to reach your point where you are no longer transforming, but you are emerging. And we do that not just with the tools that we have, but we also invite you to share with the spoken healing words of Dr. Peace Ushe. As I always say, don't just climb a mountain, crush through it, and we'll see you next time.
Keep shining, everyone.